Hello and welcome to episode 109 of Things I Learned from Barry Harris. And today I thought we could go over practicing phrases first on the beat, then on the end of the beat, just to see the difference. And even though it's a slight difference, it's an extremely important difference, and it brings more balance to your playing. So I think I told this story before, but I'm not sure if I told it on the channel. But I remember one time in class, after I had spent a lot of time practicing, for instance, Barry's half-step rules, and I said, oh, okay, I think I have them together enough, at least in a couple of positions, and I felt comfortable with them. And I remember he said, just matter-of-factly at the class that particular night, he said, oh, and by the way, if you start on an and of a beat, all the rules reverse. So it took a second to sink in, and then after it sunk in, I realized, oh man, I've been practicing everything on a beat, which means all the phrases that I've created for myself all had the same thing in common. They were all on the beat. And then, of course, if you realize that, if you listen to the masters like Bud and Bird and Barry and Coleman Hawkins and Sonny Rollins, they start phrases anywhere on the beat. It doesn't matter. Anywhere. It doesn't matter, especially ands. They do it anywhere. They start on the end of 2, the end of 4, the 1, the 3. It doesn't make a difference. It's totally free. So in a sense, they are not only free with their note choice, which is what we usually spend a lot of time working on, note choice, but they're also free rhythmically. And that's the whole thing. That is the whole thing. If you can be free with your note choice, so all the different phrases that we come up with is great, but if you can also be free rhythmically, then you really have something. I think that's when you've really achieved a level where you can be confident with your playing, like nothing's going to throw you. So I'll just show you, for instance, if we take a phrase, and maybe we'll just talk let's talk in F7. Okay, so if we took a phrase, let's say, like we started on the third beat, and we came down to the third, and we put 1 half step between tonic and 7. That's one of the rules. That's a pretty phrase. Maybe we'll add an eighth note triplet on the third, so we won't use a half step. We'll take the half step out. Or maybe we'll put in a 16th note triplet, so we'll keep that half step in. So we'll say. So here's our phrase already. So first we started with. Then we did an eighth note triplet, removed the half step. Now we'll take that same phrase and we'll add a 16th note triplet, so we'll put that half step back. We'll say. And then maybe we could put that 16th note triplet anywhere. We could say. So let's see. Or maybe we'll say. That was putting it on the second beat. Maybe let's do it on the second beat and the third beat. Maybe, what would be the last beat? That's pretty too. So how about if we do it on the second beat and the last beat? That's a nice phrase. So do you see how many ways we just played that same phrase? All those different ways adding triplets. Now, if you start on the and instead of the beat, the rules are going to reverse. So where normally the rules for the third is an odd number, and it's going to be 1 half step or 3 half steps. Now it's going to be like it's an even number, which would be no half steps or 2 half steps. So let's do that. If we start on the end, it's going to be no half steps. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now it's a different phrase. 2, 3, 4, hey. Beautiful phrase, but on the and, see how different it feels? Instead of 2, 3, 4, Now maybe we'll add 2 half steps. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, that is beautiful. Did you hear how different that phrase is? I mean, that is a beautiful phrase now. So we just think about it this way. We said, let's start on the third. So when we started on the beat, we said, okay, let's do the half steps for the third, the actual half steps, which we started 1. Now, we didn't even think of 3. Let's do 3, starting on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a pretty one. So look, if I was say, autumn leaves, right? Or let's start on the and. Let's do the thing that we did before, which would be... But see, you really have to make a concerted effort to say, let me start on the end. I am not one of those people that can just naturally feel rhythm like it's no problem. Like if you told me to start on the end of 3, I could just feel it perfectly. I have to still practice that to the point where I really feel that. And see, that's why Barry's, this great thing of, Barry's tester for his, for feeling the rhythm, where you start with this phrase and you say, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you constantly take it off the beat. That's awesome. That's another Barry Harris brilliant thing that he lays out so simply for us to feel every beat. But these are really important, these half-step rules. So what it's made me think is, when I'm playing, and I know you really can't think of this while you're playing because it's going by so fast, you're just reacting to things. So you have to practice it to the point that it comes out in your reactions. So for me, that's something that I have to really practice a lot. So taking similar things that I'm used to, and let's say I'm sick of every time I start on the third, I do the same thing, or maybe I pivot, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But do you see how, well, triplets really make a huge difference, but also starting on the ands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That was starting on the and of the 2. It really feels good. So like, but it's super important thing to practice. So again, I know this is a short video, but I would just say, to think that Barry just showed us these half-step rules and these beautiful ways to come out right, to play scale notes on the beat, is true. But what he also showed us was ways to identify how to rhythmically attack things that are different. So it's almost like the common thread among the things that Barry teaches is freedom. The whole thing is freedom, is to be free. It takes a lot of practice, and I'm certainly not there yet, but I'm working at it. And I know a lot of people are working at it, and I'm happy. But what he shows you, even in his own playing, is his freedom. And not to dwell on his passing, but I was talking to somebody, and I was saying, the thing that we're going to miss the most, that we don't have anymore, is when Barry was talking about these things, he would then go right away into a song and show you the perfect examples of the things he was talking about. Not pre-planned, just on the spot, because he never knew what he was going to talk about in class anyway, which was one of the fantastic things. He just come off the top of his head, which was unbelievable. But then to show us, for examples, there was nothing he prepared. So he would say, oh, here's a nice place to, let's practice doing things on the and then he would start playing Indiana or I Want to Be Happy or something, at like really fast tempo, and just throw it in like it was nothing. And instantly, you feel that feeling of, wow, that's it. That's what we need. That's what I need. I need to be able to play like that and then to feel like that after I play. So that is the thing that is never going to be replaced. So we just have to do our best to practice his rules and to put things together and really try to create nice phrases for ourselves. But I really believe that's the only thing that we're not going to have anymore, is that type of immediate, not justification, but the immediate example of the perfectly fluid idea that he was just talking about a second ago that he's putting into practical use, which was incredible. And I mean, everybody who's been around him has seen him do it a million times. So, but anyway, until next time, practice similar phrases that you're used to playing, but start them on the and of beats instead of on the beat. Until next time, thanks.